Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. What if someone you loved came back? Not in life, but in a dream to tell you how they died. That's what happened to the Taiwanese manager and mentor, Sun Darong, when his late student, Menglong, appeared in his dream for 5 continuous hours, crying, trembling, and revealing a truth so haunting that even the authorities tried to silence it. Tonight, we uncover not just a mystery, but a message from beyond. Welcome to Update X24H, where we bring you the untold stories behind the headlines. After Menglong's sudden and tragic fall from a high-rise building in Beijing, the world was told it was nothing more than an accident. The official statement was brief, clinical, and cold. An ending that felt too simple for a man known for his warmth and integrity. Yet those who truly knew him could not find peace. Among them was his longtime mentor and manager, Sun Darong, a man who had guided you since his earliest days on stage. He felt an ache that no police report could quiet, an intuition that the story was far from over. Then one sleepless night the silence broke. Sun Darong dreamt of Menglong, not as a ghost of fear, but as a presence of unbearable sorrow. The dream lasted for what seemed an eternity, nearly 5 unbroken hours, during which he wept as he spoke. His voice was fragile yet clear, recounting fragments of what had happened in the final days before his death. There were no grand accusations, no cries for vengeance, only the deep human grief of a man who had been misunderstood, cornered, and stripped of the chance to defend himself. In the dream, Yu's face was serene but shadowed by pain. His words were filled with regret, not for his fame or career, but for the people he loved and left behind. Above all, he worried for his mother. Would she bear the weight of rumors of injustice, of never knowing the truth? It was this tenderness that broke his mentor's heart most of all. Sun Darong awoke trembling, his pillow wet with tears, unsure whether what he had experienced belonged to the realm of dreams or to something greater. A cry from a soul still seeking release. For him, that vision was not superstition. It was a message. It was as if Menglong had returned briefly to entrust him with a task, to speak when others could not, to uncover what silence had buried. In that moment, Sun Darong understood that grief could no longer remain private. What began as a dream became a calling, to search for truth, to protect memory, and to ensure that the gentle voice of his student would never again be silenced. In the days that followed the dream, Sun Darong could no longer live as though nothing had happened. Every word Menglong had spoken lingered like an echo in his heart, refusing to fade. He felt an overwhelming duty, one that transcended fear or reason, to honor the voice that had reached him from beyond. As a mentor, he had once guided you through the chaos of fame. Now he felt it was his turn to guide Yu's spirit toward justice. Yet the world outside was not kind. When he announced his intention to travel to Beijing and seek answers, the internet erupted with concern. Thousands of fans pleaded for him to stay in Taiwan, to protect his fragile health and his safety. They knew what it meant to challenge powerful interests, especially when whispers of influence and corruption hung in the air. Still, Sun Darong's resolve did not waver. He believed that silence was a form of betrayal, and that doing nothing would be the truest form of defeat. If I don't speak for him, he wrote, then his story will be buried forever. Those words struck a chord across borders, as strangers and fans alike began to share his posts, each message carrying both admiration and dread. He prepared for his journey with a heavy heart, aware that every step might place him in danger, but also knowing that truth rarely blooms in comfort. Before his departure, Sun arranged a Buddhist ceremony in memory of his student, seeking spiritual guidance and strength. Within the temple, the air was thick with incense, the sound of chanting rising and falling like waves. He prayed before the statue of Kitagarbha Bodhisattva, the guardian of lost souls, asking for protection and clarity. In his prayer, he confessed his guilt. If only he had not introduced you to the world of entertainment, perhaps the young man would still be alive. Yet intertwined with that sorrow was a newfound purpose. This was no longer about grief, it was about responsibility. For Sun Darong, the promise he made was not spoken aloud but etched into the quiet spaces of his heart. He vowed to be the bridge between truth and the forgotten, between life and memory. No matter how long it took, or how dangerous the path became, he would carry Menglong's story until justice itself could no longer remain asleep. News of Sun Darong's dream and his vow to seek justice for Menglong spread like ripples across still water, crossing borders and languages. What began as a quiet post on social media soon ignited an international outcry. From Seoul to Paris, from Los Angeles to Tokyo, people who had never met you felt compelled to speak his name. They saw in his story something deeply universal. The fear of being silenced, the longing for truth, the courage to stand against injustice, even when it seemed impossible. Within days, a global petition was launched, written in both Chinese and English, demanding transparency, accountability, and compassion. More than 55,000 signatures poured in from every corner of the world. Each name carried its own emotion: anger, sorrow, disbelief, or quiet solidarity. They were not just fans mourning a lost actor. They were ordinary people uniting around the belief that no human life should vanish without answers. Artists, students, human rights advocates, and even those outside the entertainment world began to share the same message. Justice for Menglong was justice for everyone who had ever been silenced. But as support grew, so did resistance. Accounts were suspended, posts deleted, and videos disappeared from major platforms. Some users found their messages censored within minutes of being posted. It was as if an invisible hand was sweeping away any trace of truth. Yet, the harder the silence pressed down, the louder the collective voice became. People began using coded phrases, images of candles, and secret hashtags to keep the movement alive. They turned grief into creativity, building digital altars and sharing fan-made tributes filled with love and defiance. This was no longer a story about one man or one country. It had evolved into a mirror reflecting the world's hunger for honesty and compassion. Through every tweet, every comment, and every whispered prayer, Menglong's light refused to dim. He became a symbol of moral courage, a reminder that even in an era of censorship and fear, truth still finds its path through those who refuse to look away. What started as mourning had transformed into a movement, proving that when the world unites in empathy, even the voices of the departed can still be heard. What makes this story unforgettable isn't the fear, it's the connection. A teacher and his student, a soul that refused to vanish quietly, and a dream that turned grief into a mission. Sun Darong later said, "In that dream, Menglong was not seeking revenge. He wanted truth to bring peace, not just for himself, but for everyone trapped by silence." This is not merely about one man's death. It's a reminder that truth always finds its way, no matter how deeply it's buried. Months later, across Asia and beyond, fans organized online vigils, art tributes, and charity drives in Yu's name, supporting young actors and promoting mental health awareness. Because even if his voice was silenced, his story continues to speak. And every candle lit, every comment left, every share made by someone watching right now, keeps his light burning. No truth stays hidden forever, and no soul that fights for light ever truly disappears. If Menglong's story touched your heart tonight, please subscribe to Update X24H, leave a comment to share your thoughts, and help this message of truth and compassion reach the world. Thank you for watching, and remember, even in the darkest dream, truth still shines.